Hey guys, we're back. This time we're going to be taking a look at the Supermoon expansion for Planet Unknown from Adam's Apple Games. This is a cool expansion that adds on a bunch of optional modules to the base game of Planet Unknown. Also comes with a lid for the Lazy Susan, which was a much requested feature from the original game. And adds a new planet, two new factions, I think. Maybe only one. They're weird the way they work. Also adds the super moons, obviously, and a couple other new mechanics to mix and match with your game. Cool thing about it is they're all modular, so you can pick and choose what you want to add. So we'll get right in and take a look at what this adds to Planet Unknown. This is probably a disaster because I flipped it over, but not everything is in here. I'll get to the lid because it's on the actual game in a minute. But first off, we have here is our Planet Unknown Supermoon rulebook. Goes over all the components. And you do get some new events, new event cards. You get some new Civ cards to add into your decks. You get, like I said, the moons and the satellites. You get these new salvage tiles, which are cool, and these new biomass patches of different types, or not just bio, sorry, they're patches now of the various types instead of just bio. So that's kind of cool. I love that all of it can be piecemealed together. There's an overview here, updates to the game. There is a new endgame condition that's listed up here too. If any player gets all of their resource trackers to the top track, it ends the game immediately at the end of the round. That's a new win condition that wasn't in the base game. The first module we have here is Supermoon, and we might do these one at a time. So this is what the base key of the expansion is. This whole page is about it. And what this is going to add is that at the beginning of the game, if I can dig them out here, each player is going to get one of these moon tiles. And there's 6, one for each player. They are double-sided. One side is all the same, just like the old player boards. The other side, I think, are all unique. Maybe not. Yeah. No, that's the same side. Yeah, so everything's unique on the back sides. So on the side that's the same, this works just like your normal player board. You're going to have this addition to your planet. You have your water tiles, you have normal terrain tiles, and you're going to place things. There are a couple that start with meteors on them. You can't place a tile on there until after those meteors are gone, or you get some tech that allows you to do so. The difference is here, this is going to be an addition to your normal planet. So whenever you drop a tile, you can place it up here or on your planet. When you place a tile up here, you're going to have one of these satellites, which are in this case. And it's going to start on one of these two tiles with the circle. That one's hard to see because it's on the text, but this one here. And you can start it facing either way of the arrow. So you can start facing that way or facing that way. And what's going to happen is you're going to place a tile, and then you look at it and you say, okay, that tile had 3 blocks. So you're going to move this clockwise 3 spaces. So you go 1, 2, 3, and again, this one has 2 facings, so you get to pick which facing you want. So in this case, we'll face it this way. It's going to fire, and it'll destroy any meteors or any rovers in that column. So you got to be careful because you can blow up your own rover by shooting across. But it's a neat little thing to remove meteors. The downside is any meteors you don't remove by the end of the game are worth -3 points on the moon. You also gain an 8-point bonus for every set of all 6 resources you have. So if you have 2 separate instances of every one of those, you're going to score 8 because it's for a complete set. If they're attached, that still only counts as 1. As far as I know, I may be interpreting that wrong, but they need to be unique instances of each of those. On the flip side, things are a little different. The plays out the same way, still worth -3, but your bonuses vary depending on which resources you have. So in this case, every rover and the tech resource you have is going to gain you +4. So these are different on every one. Let's see, of course they're all backwards. So you got energy and rover there. Energy and civ. No, that's tech. What's the other one? Bio. This is tech. Water and civ. Bio or civ and tech. And then bio and water. And then, like I said, the flip side of them are all the same. I think the meteors are even in the same place on, yeah, everything's exactly the same on that side. Everything is different on the back sides between the water placement and the meteor placements. So you have your choice to play symmetrical or asymmetrical. So that is the first section of the new modules. So module 2 are the salvage tiles, and these are little tiles. They're two spaces. One has a resource, one has a meteor, and they are on all 6 of the different resources. And then during gameplay, so say somebody spins the Lazy Susan to a position where you can't choose anything or you don't want to choose anything, then you would use these bio tokens, and everybody's going to have one of each. And then you have to place 2 of these anywhere on your map, so you're getting 2 meteors. That's the catch to it. But they can go anywhere. You would place a normal tile. You gain the resources just as if you played those 2, but you're playing 2. You can do this 3 times because you have to place them 2 at a time, and you're going to have 6 of them. And that's it. When they're gone, they're gone. Those are kind of neat. They change things up a little. They give you an option so you're not running out of moves as much, being a small 2 tile. So you can take those in place of those large odd tiles that just aren't going to fit on your board. So that's a cool another module. That one we'll probably use a lot going forward. They can also be used just kind of like patches to connect things together, fill in holes, that kind of thing, which is cool. The next one we got is the terrain patches. So these are just like the other ones. They're single things, and anytime you're playing with these, you use these in place of biomass. So when anything says biomass, you can use any patch. And you're going to have a set of these, one of every element. And they do not have a resource on them, so you won't move your track up when you place them. But placing them can link 2 different biomes together. It counts as, like, say you put this somewhere, that's a standalone piece of water. If you have to get so many water biome sections on your map, that will count as one section. Can link 2 together to make a bigger one, so on. There's one of those for every resource type except for bio, because you already have those in the base game. That one's a really simple one to add in and mix in your game, and it's definitely going to be interesting to see how that plays out. We haven't actually used that one yet, but it seems like an easy one to go through and add. The next thing we have in here is the fractured planet, which is a new asymmetrical planet. You can see here. And that is done through these tiles. So the neat thing about these is that you're going to arrange these out into a grid. However you want to flip and rotate them, doesn't matter. And that's going to make your unique planet. Once you've got your planet set up, it's worth noting that there's a gap between these. They do not connect. You cannot move from this one to this one with a rover, for instance. You need to land on these shuttles. Once you land on these shuttles, you can go to any space on another board at the cost of 1 movement. The catch is, once you place a tile over top of these shuttles, you can no longer use that shuttle. So you're basically stuck on that board once that happens. So you got to play around that. The other thing with these is that they each have a restriction. So in this case, you can put no tiles with meteors. I don't know if you can see that. No tiles with meteors can go on this section of the planet. No tiles with tech can go on this one. No, I don't even know what that icon is. No biomass patches can be used on that one. And no bio on this one too. Ooh, that's rough. No bio at all on this one. So they each have a restriction. And it varies from tile to tile. See there, you can see the bio symbol. There's no sieve This one specifically has biomass patches, which would go for any of the patches if you're using that other module. Very neat little planet though, something new to add to your game. I love having more asymmetrical stuff in there. This one's kind of rough though, it can be difficult. I have not played it in physical form. I did play the digital version using that planet once. And then the final thing on the back here is the Fractured Corp. And this is a new corporation, which is done through the use of these two. And there is only one. I thought there were 4 of these for some reason, but they're double-sided is what it is. So you have your various sides, front and back, that are different. And then you have a top half and a bottom half. So you can have this setup, you can have this setup, you can have this setup. So there's all different mix and match that you can do on these to basically give yourself various new faction, basically. The real neat thing of this is their faction icons on the top have so whenever you draft a tile from the interior ring of the Susan, ... and then you go to the bottom, you may immediately regress one of your resource trackers a corresponding number. Or you have, whenever you draft a tile from the exterior ring, advance one track, only one resource from the tile, but advance it twice. So again, you mix and match these, changes that up. Very neat idea. Have not played with that corporation yet, but another fun asymmetrical one to mess around with. So my set actually came with a couple extra. I think there's one extra of every tile. I'm not sure if there's something. There's probably a card in here that uses those, but I have them aside. And I have these for each of the various players that have one of everything in them ready to go. We have our new cards up here. We got 4, 3, 2, 1. Not sure why I split those up like that. Maybe just a couple of these. I think a couple of these just kind of got bumped over. So we have our new event deck. I'm not going to go through every one of those because there is a bunch. But lots of new events of all 3 colors to change things up. I think some of them make use of the new mechanics as well. I'm not positive on that. So again, really quick through those. But those are the new events. And then you have new Civ cards. So you have 4 of each, I think. New level 1 Civ cards. Or maybe there's 5. I can't add. Level 2 Civs. Yeah, it looks like there's 5 of each. And these are going to get mixed in with your Civ cards from the base game to give you new options. The level 3 Civ cards. And the level 4. And again, those are going to be mixed in with your normal Civ cards. And you get this nifty tray to carry the new stuff with the locking lid, just like the old ones. There's a spot here, I think, for boards. I'm not sure what's supposed to go. Score pad, maybe? And then the other thing that is not here, which I'm going to have to go grab, is the lid to the Lazy Susan. So I'm going to go grab that right now. So the base game comes with the Lazy Susan here, which if you've played the game, you've come to know. And the problem is, it stuff always falls out of it. I used to keep this covered right on it and then a rubber band around the box to hold everything in place. It worked pretty good. But this is definitely a better option. They gave you the tray here, which lines up with the various tiles, so we go like that. And the problem is this doesn't snap on, it just sits on. Now if your lid's tight enough, it'll probably solve that issue. It won't be an issue. They gave you this band box basically, and if you've ever used box bands, that's all it is. Slides around. The problem I was having with that is it bends the bottom. I don't know if I can get it on camera here, but the bottom lip that the Lazy Susan sits on that spins, it bends that. And if you can hear, it actually rubs now. So I stopped using that already, and I 3D printed a set of these clips, and they're perfect. They clip on the side and into this little notch. You can use 6 of them. I think 3 does the trick just fine. Put one on every other side like this. And it holds that lid on perfectly without the need to touch that bottom part that moves. And it even still sort of spins with it on there, but you get the idea. But it keeps it from bending that, and your pieces aren't going to fall out anymore. So like the lid, don't like this option. These clips are a great idea. It's a free file you can find online to download for those. Like I said, 3 does the trick and holds everything in there nice and tight. That's going to wrap it up for our look at the Planet Unknown Supermoon. I'm not totally sold on the moons. I like them as they extend the game a little bit. It gives you a chance to mess around, putting things up there, chance for some extra points. So they're nice if you want to extend the length of your game, but not huge on them. The other 2 modules are really cool. The new faction is interesting, and the new planet is definitely interesting. Of course, more variety for the Civ decks is always good. More events is great. So everything in here is good. I don't see myself playing with the moons as much as the other content, but that's the great thing about this being modular. You can play with just the other additions, the extra cards, and not have to worry about it. So if you're a fan of Planet Unknown, it's definitely worth picking this up. And if you're just into the game, I don't think you need it. I think the base game's fine on its own. But if you've played a bunch and you want just a little extra, this will do it for you. That's going to wrap it up for our look at Planet Unknown Supermoon. Hope it helps you decide if it's something worth adding to your own game. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.